which is more correct, gender or sex? I've always used gender when I want to talk about whether a person is male or female, but I came across this comment on a similar question here. Correct usage is sex for humans and other animals. Gender is for things like connectors and pipe fittings. People are just squeamish about the word sex. So which one is more correct, and more importantly, which one should I use? It would be great if you can base your answers on facts, references, or specific expertise, rather than just personal opinions. Note, I've already seen the question, what is the difference between gender and sex? But it does not answer my question.
Neither is more correct than the other. They merely mean different things. Sex refers to whether your chromosomes are XX or XY, male versus female. Gender is an attitude, man versus woman. It is your identity, not your chromosomal makeup or external genitalia. This is why someone who has a sex change really has gender reassignment surgery. This is why someone who wishes to live their life as the opposite of their sex is transgender and not transsex. The comment you saw is someone who is not clear on the difference. The usage in pipes is merely a convenient nomenclature. It is ridiculous to say that gender is only to be used on inanimate objects.
For most purposes, the terms sex and gender are interchangeable. There are not many people who will be confused when met with a box on an immigrations or medical form asking, sex, although I have seen this answered with a yes, no, rarely, etc. These people really are confused by the question. More and more often, this is replaced by a choice, MF. For purposes of clarity, the World Health Organization defines sex as referring to either of the two main categories of biological and physiological characteristics that define men and women, as well as most living things. The answer to sex is male or female or unknown. Males have male sexual organs, make more testosterone than females, are often larger overall, may be more colorful, etc. Females have ovaries, produce more estrogen, gestate young or lay eggs, may be similar generally, more subdued in coloration, etc. The WHO lists gender as that which refers to the socially constructed roles, behaviors, activities, and attributes that a given society considers appropriate for men and women. The answer to gender is masculine, feminine, or, in the case of language and microorganisms, neuter. Examples of gender differences are, e.g. in the US, women earn significantly less money than men for similar work. In Saudi Arabia, men are allowed to drive cars while women are not. In most of the world, women do more housework than men. In some countries, women alone are allowed to own land. In others, women themselves are property. Since the recognition of gay rights, sex and gender have become politicized terms. Still, we have documents proclaiming that X does not discriminate on the basis of age, race, creed, color, sex, more often than gender, national origin, marital status, age, sexual orientation, military status, genetic predisposition or career status, disability, or any other, etc. A good indicator of the difference between sex and gender is that in language, non-living things have gender. In French, house is feminine, la maison, fire, le feu, is masculine. In Latin, table, mensa, is feminine, field, ager, is masculine, and entrance, limen, is neuter. None of these have a sex. In some Latin words, sex and gender are contradictory. A female poet is still a poeta, masculine, a female farmer is masculine, agricola, and an idiot, idiota, is always masculine. Therefore, male and female are sexual categories, and masculine, feminine, and neuter are gender categories.
We need to decide whether you are talking about correctness or usage. Up until maybe 50 years ago, gender was a technical term in grammar and linguistics. We spoke about the grammatical gender of nouns in languages like Latin, French, German. The question of whether a person or animal was male or female was a question about the person's or animal's sex. Then, sometime in the 20th century, people decided to use sex as an abbreviation for sexual intercourse. We started talking about having sex and so forth. This meant that the grammatical term gender was annexed to mean what used to be called sex. So in modern usage, gender is about whether you are male or female, and sex is about what people do with each other. That is the current usage. Is it correct English? That is a matter of debate.
If you want to support the channel, please consider liking and subscribing.